Chewin on fire.
I can feel it. All right, next question. So this sixth nugget is Tabasco sauce. So nothing too crazy.
I don't like Tabasco sauce.
Oh, Gary, there's worse coming. Now, the Tabasco sauce, I couldn't spread, so I just had to like pour it on. As this goes longer and the chicken nuggets get colder, they get harder to eat. I'm almost out of water. All right.
Oh yeah, I thought the Tabasco would be hotter than that.
No, yeah. I'm kind of let down by the Tabasco. I think the Frank's Red Hot was hotter. The internet said that the Tabasco was going to be hotter. So. Sriracha's next. All right. Next question. Okay, so this is about truth and apologetics. So I'm pretty passionate about apologetics. So I might take a stab at this after you're done. So, so Christians believe that what they believe is true and other religions are untrue. So that's just saying another way to say that is Jesus is the only way.
Mm-hmm.
Now the thing is that Muslims or people that follow Islam don't believe that and they think Islam is true.
Right.
So how do we know that Christianity is true and that it's right when other people, they know that their belief is right too? How do we know that what we believe is actually true?
Yeah, I thought you said the hot to hard questions were done already. I think that's, it's a little bit challenging. One of the things to, I guess we can just say, well, I'm right, you're wrong. That doesn't cut it though. And I think it is a really important thing for us to ask. That's a really good question to ask. Why do we believe this? And I think we've gotten stuck on it a little bit because we haven't educated ourselves properly. And again, I'm talking about this educated thing, and sorry, because I know you're probably sick of school.
We just don't know. That's
sick of school and those
right.
things. So to gain a better understanding of
right.
What it is and what it looks like. And I think there was this young pastor in our church. He did a really good job of presenting really what that was.
Thanks, man.
What that was. And it has to do a lot with history. And historically, how can we, if you go back into, even outside of the Bible, we believe, and I'm not saying that the Bible is untrue, or we believe it's solid, we believe it's true. But you can also, so if this is our only source, okay, well, they have a book. There's the Quran, there's, all of these different books. They have a book and they say that, they teach their truths and their beliefs.
Right.
What I think where Christianity changes that is when you start to look at history and where people were not Christians documented the historical events of Jesus,
right.
that he lived. So Jesus lived on this earth. That you can't argue. That's in historical documents outside of the Bible. In fact, in some non-Christian authors have authored that. So Jesus lived. So that's factual. Then in those same documents, they talk about the aspect of that he did die, and they even present that he died on a cross and cruel death. Even these authors, what is it? I can't remember his name now. It's one guy, Josephus. Talks about the aspect of. And it was even, on a cross. There was a cruel death. He's recognizing and acknowledging that. Then these documents talk about that he was seen after this. There was literally eyewitness testimony of him being seen after.
Right. After he died.
And so if we can take that, aspect of, okay, there is physical evidence on this very earth of this incredible, miraculous death and resurrection, then how can we not take that, put it together with what the Bible teaches and says that this is for man's salvation? I think that builds far more authenticity than anything when you read any of the other, books that have been written by the other religions or belief systems. And I think those are the things that we can factually know and understand. Right. These aren't just written by people and that are written and they're so detached from us, but no, there's such physical evidence that points to the actual life of Jesus. And I think that's hugely important. So if Jesus did exist, and if he did die on the cross, and he did rise again, then I can put my faith and belief in that Jesus.
Right. If Jesus died and rose again, then Christianity is true.
Yeah.
And if he didn't, then it's not.
Right.
It's kind of that. It's a little bit that simple. But
yeah.
But this question is also asking, like, how do we know? Not just like that Christianity is true. It's more asking, how do we? It is asking how Christianity is true, but you're kind of, the question behind the question is, how do we know that other worldviews are wrong? And I think the way the way to answer that question is which worldview or which religion actually accounts for reality the best, right? So does it match reality is a question to ask. So most other religious systems will answer that question differently. So like they'll answer what is reality differently. And Christians will say, well, we have this reality, we have this evidence for Jesus' death and resurrection. And the problem with that is that like people have died and then come alive again in other places in the Bible. The challenge is that Jesus claimed he was God, and then I'm going to prove it by doing this. So then if that happened, then Christianity is true. And if it didn't happen, then we have to keep searching, right? We have to keep looking for something else that actually matches reality. So that's the issue. Does Christianity match reality or doesn't it? And that hinges on the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Which, by the way, there's some messages on YouTube that you can go back and look at. And there's, forget our messages that we preach from our church. There's some really good apologists on YouTube. I watch Sean McDowell or Gary Habermas. Josh McDowell has some good stuff. Just talking about how do we know Christianity is true. It's a super good question. Really relevant to today. So, especially in light of our access to other ideas and belief systems through the internet. Like we can go and check out these other belief systems and ask ourselves, does this match reality? Does the truth claims of Islam, do they actually is it actually historically accurate, or is it false? Right? That's a question you need to ask if you're wondering.
Chewin on fire.
Hey.